is ready for convention season. I'm Natasha, and today we're going to be discussing my pro tips on how to successfully do a convention. So today's video is sponsored by Disney Book Group, and we are going to be talking about the new book, Ship It, by Britta London. She's actually one of the writers on Riverdale. Oh, yes. I started reading this last night, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is everything I've ever wanted in a book. The reason why I'm talking about my tips and tricks for surviving a convention or just doing a convention like a boss is because this book has everything to do with Comic-Cons. I love Comic-Con. I have been to so many Comic-Cons. So many. It's scary. Ship It is about a girl named Claire. She's 16 years old and she's been writing a slash fan fiction that is about two of the characters in this demon hunting show. It sounds like Supernatural to me. Two of the characters are shipped online a lot and they are both male, so it sounds like Dean and Castiel, but Castiel is an angel and Hart is a demon. It's Smokey and Hart. Those are the names of the characters that people are shipping in Ship It. This is very much a combination of Geekerella and Fangirl. You're getting the fan fiction aspect in here from Fangirl, and you're getting the fandom obsessed community from Geekerella. The tagline for this is a funny, sexy romp that follows the fanfiction blogger Claire as she comes out of her basement, out of her fanfiction hole, as we all like to, stay in. And I sit back there on my computer and read fanfiction. I was just reading fanfiction last night, and she gets thrown into the limelight of her favorite TV show. This is what my dream was when I was a huge crazy fangirl of Twilight. I tried to make it happen, y'all. I tried to be in the fansite world. I was really too young. I camped out at premieres, okay? I was almost there until I started my YouTube channel. So Claire gets asked to be on a panel at Comic-Con with the main actor. His name is Forrest from the TV show Demon Heart. This is a dream come true for her. She's on a panel with the main actor from Demon Heart. What if you were on a panel with Jared Padalecki? Claire brings up the fact that she writes fan fiction about the two male leads in the show. Dream come true until the actor Forrest laughs off the assertion that his character is gay. The internet is blowing up because this is what everyone's dream is, to have the main character of Demon Heart. He's gay in their minds. Like, this is what they ship. And for him to insult that, not good. Claire is devastated, as well as all of the community who reads her fan fiction. Forrest, the actor, is mostly confused. Like, he never thought of his character as gay, because he is definitely not gay. Like, his character is definitely not gay. So, of course, the video goes viral of the Q&A, and the PR team have to do some major backstepping. So, guess what? They invite Claire on the publicity tour! What? That is literally my dreams. I love the event of the movie, of seeing the film or watching the TV show on screen. But what I love most is the interviews that happen from the junkets, from the publicity tour, from the conferences. That is one of my favorite things to do, is just sit on my computer and just get lost in celebrity interviews. Claire is living my ultimate dream. Claire hops on this tour in order to mend the TV show's relationship with the LGBTQ+ community. Thinking that Forrest is actually gay and he's trying to hide the fact that he is. He doesn't really want to admit it to himself, and Claire is like wanting to make this ship canon. I mean, if I had the chance to go on the Harry Potter tour with Tom Felton and Emma Watson, yes, I would try to make my favorite ship canon. Or if I had the chance to go on the Star Wars tour with Adam Driver and Daisy Ridley, yes, I would make Reylo real. So there's romance in this, lots of Comic-Cons, lots of interviews, and Claire runs into a girl named Tess, who is a very cool fan artist, and she's trying to get up the guts to talk to her. But another cool thing about this book is the cover. Look at this thing naked. It's just all characters. Ashley Poston blurbed the back of this and she said, "Ship it punches you right in the feels. Britta London gives us a story about the OTPs we want and the ones we need." If you guys want to get your hands on Ship It, it is out in stores right now. I'll have it linked down below for you guys to purchase. Go find it. I am super excited about this book. I love that we've had this trend of fandom-esque books coming out because I am so in this world. It is crazy. Like, I love the book world so much. I love the publishing world, but when it comes to like Comic-Cons and fandom, that is where my heart is at. That is where my heart has been at since I was a 14-year-old fangirl of Twilight. Now that we've talked about this book, let's go into my tips for Comic-Con. I have a notebook full of tips for Comic-Con. I'm going to teach you all of my ways, guys. We're gonna start off with the basics. What to bring. We're gonna get your bag packed, your daily bag. I usually typically bring a backpack if I'm going to Comic-Con. I have done conventions several different ways, but I'm going to really use my tips and tricks from when I go to San Diego Comic-Con. That is the convention where I am fully fanned out. So in your backpack, you're gonna wanna bring water, because water is super expensive at convention centers. So is food. So if you can actually pack some snacks and maybe a sandwich, do that. That way you don't have to leave a panel room. You don't have to get out of line. Extra batteries and a charger. If you have a camera, buy another battery for that camera. If you are a YouTuber and you want to film this, you need another vlogging camera battery. For 3 years, I survived with one battery in my vlogging camera, and I wish I had a second one because my camera always died at the end of the day. Hand sanitizer. You are meeting so many people. You're touching so many things. So many people are touching things. You might not have a chance to go to the bathroom and freshen up, so bring that hand sanitizer. Also, maybe some Lysol wipes for your phone, because you're touching this thing a lot while you're also touching, so like the germs are transferring onto this. Blotting pads or face powder. If you're a girl or a guy who wears makeup and you have oily skin, usually conventions are during the summer, so you're sweating a lot, bring the blotting pad. Sasha has to do this all the time because she has oily skin. I don't have very oily skin. One of my new favorite products I just got is this Derma-E Essential Sun Protection Mineral Powder with SPF 30. This is actually a brush and powder all in one. I used this at Dapper Day while I was at Disneyland, and it makes your makeup stay. So I'll have this link down below if you want to try it out. This is so handy. I love this. Speaking of SPF, you want to bring sunscreen. If you are a person who gets easily sunburned, or if you just want to protect your skin from sun damage, you need to bring the SPF to protect you. When I went to D23 last summer, we were in line for like 2 hours before we even got into the convention center, and my friend Amy, very much a redhead, very much pale, and she was dying in the heat, and luckily some nice person had sunscreen to give to her. One of my very favorite tips that I have learned from Christine, my best friend, is moleskin. Everyone wears shoes. You might be wearing shoes that you've always worn, but what if your sock slips underneath and you start getting a blister on the back of your heel? Moleskin's gonna be your friend. They're better than band-aids because band-aids kind of like roll off. They don't necessarily stick to your feet. Moleskin you can get at the drugstore or online, and you want to get the thin ones. I made the mistake last year of getting like these really thick pads. They don't really work. What moleskin is just like a sticker, but it's a sticker for your skin. So it protects against anything rubbing. And if you have a blister already, you can put it over the blister so the blister won't get even worse. You're also gonna need scissors to cut it, so you're gonna need scissors in that bag. Ibuprofen. You're gonna be walking a lot, like 13,000, 20,000 steps in one day, and your feet and your body might ache. So ibuprofen is always good to have on hand. Also, another tip, I would bring cash. I haven't used cash in a long time because I usually don't buy stuff on the floor, but if you're tempted to buy things, only take out a certain amount of cash so you can just give that to the vendor. And that way you don't have to worry about like getting out your card and signing, because sometimes vendors don't have card systems, but most of them do. If you have cash, that way you know how much you're spending. Moving on to the next category, what to wear. If you plan on meeting somebody, if you're going to a book festival and you're meeting an author, you're meeting a YouTuber, you are meeting an actor, a director, a comic book artist. These are my tips for being memorable or having a moment with that person. I have done conventions in fan shirts, in fancy gear, in dresses, in shorts, in jeans, in cosplay. The best times I've ever had while meeting somebody is when I wear something that starts a conversation. If you plan to do cosplay, I think cosplay is so fun, and it is one of the only times you can do it is at Comic-Con. Even if you're going to a book event, dress as one of the characters from their story, because you're gonna get pictures taken and might be shared on social media, and so that is such a great way to make your convention experience memorable. When Sasha, Christine, and I were dressed up in Westworld cosplay at Comic-Con last year, and we got to meet the cast of Outlander, our costumes were such a hit. Like, we got so many compliments, and Katrina Balfe, who plays Claire, was like, "Oh my gosh, you guys look amazing." And so it started a conversation. So usually when you're meeting somebody, that person's meeting so many other people, and you think it might be your job to start a conversation. Usually it is the talent who starts up a conversation. So if you have an outfit that they can talk about, that is great. If you make a shirt about them, they will feel special. If you're meeting Leigh Bardugo or something, make a 6 of Crows t-shirt. She will remember you. She also does share cosplay on her Instagram story. Also, you're a fan. It is okay for you to dress up and to be as geeky as possible. If you are doing cosplay, I would have a change of clothes nearby. In the car, in the hotel room. It is okay to change after a long day because you're gonna be exhausted. Also, a hair tie or a hat on hand if your hair is down and you have long hair. I know we all want to wear our hair down and long, but it's hot. How to survive the lines. The reality of conventions is not the pictures that we post. It is not the people who we meet. It is the time we spend waiting in line. My greatest tip for anyone who has to wait in line is be conscious of your time. Plan out your schedule. If there are things you want to hit in one day, you have to also include the time you have to wait in that line. Being smart about what is popular and what is not popular is going to be your friend. Say you want to go hit the signing where Stephen Amell is signing for Arrow, but you know it's going to be super, super popular. Or there might be an author at a Comic-Con who is signing who might not be as well known. So you could possibly hit multiple things depending on how badly you want to meet people. Same with panels. If you have your panel scheduled out and you know where they are at the convention center, you could possibly hit each one. But you also have to take into account the time you have to wait in line. It is crazy. When my friends and I do Book Expo of America, we can divide and conquer and do everything all at once. And one year we got Heartless, Replica, and then Tahara Mafi's new book all at once while everyone just waited in line for the new Tahara Mafi, and I'm like, yes, I got all 3 because we were smart. Like I said, divide and conquer. If you have friends with you, one person could be waiting in line for another thing, the other person could be waiting in line for another thing, and you could be waiting in line for something and maybe get those things that you're waiting in line for and then go to the next people. Keep tabs online. If you're wanting to wait in Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con or the Ballroom 20 line, there are actually Twitter accounts for these lines, and they will give you updates on how long you might be waiting in a line, or if it's even worth it to even walk to the line because you might not get into that panel. Text, tweet your own updates, or on Instagram stories. That's always helpful because that way you can see how like crazy the lines are. I know that we do that at Disneyland sometimes, like the security lines or parking lines. So now you're in line and you have to wait an hour or 2 for the panel or signing to start. Make friends. If you're by yourself, talk to the people next to you. You have no idea who these people are, but they obviously are waiting for the same thing and you might make a friend. I have made so many friends while waiting in lines. Next category, travel and people. This is something I feel like a lot of people don't talk about. When you're going to a convention, yes, it's really fun to have a large group of people, but the best times I've ever had with people at conventions is when I'm just with one other person. I don't have to worry about everyone's agenda. I just have to worry about that person with me. Because when you're with a big group, you have to make sure everyone agrees on everything that you want to do. Usually you're gonna have people who are not gonna want to do what you want to do. Even if you are with a big group of people, it is totally fine going by yourself and doing it. I did Comic-Con in 2014 by myself, but I got to do cool things. I managed to get myself into like the press junket for all the Fox movies. I managed to stand behind the cast of the originals. There are some crazy things that you can do by yourself. Sometimes people just aren't willing to do that with you. But if you have one other person with you, like when Christina and I did Comic-Con by ourselves, we had such a fun time because we were both on the same page. When you're trying to find a seat in a panel room, you don't have to find a seat where like all 6 seats are available. You just have to find 2. Even if you're by yourself, you can get up so close. But if you're going to a convention, say like a TV show convention, like the Once Upon a Time conventions or the Supernatural conventions, those are actually really fun to have a large group of people because there's not much going on in that day, so that way you have more people to hang out with. The travel part of this, there's a couple ways to get to conventions. Staying at home and you're driving. You're flying to a place and you have to stay in a hotel. It might be 2 hours away, but it's not really worth it for you to go all the way back home, so you get a hotel. But I always think hotels are best if you can afford it. That way you have some place to take a break during the day and you can unload all the junk that you've collected in that day so you don't have to carry it around with you. I mean, you can unload it in the car, but if you're doing like a 2-day, 3-day convention, hotel rooms are so good. Meeting the people. So we go to conventions to meet all our favorite celebrities, right? Here are my tips to make that experience the best experience that you can ever have. My first tip is bring autograph materials. I need to take my own advice in this because For the last 2 times I have met my favorite celebrities, I have forgotten my autograph materials. When I met Jamie Fraser, Sam Heughan from Outlander, I forgot to bring my whiskey bottle. I regret that so much. I have a poster somewhere that he signed. I wish I had brought the whiskey bottle because that would have just been such a great conversation starter. When I met Colin O'Donoghue and Jennifer Morrison from Once Upon a Time, I forgot the piece of artwork that I wanted them to sign. I had to buy something at the merchandising area and they didn't have a lot of stuff. Like, I bought posters for them to sign, but I really wanted them together and they didn't have anything of them together. So make sure you have autograph materials if you know you're gonna be meeting people. Like, if you bought a signing ticket, bring the autograph materials. Print something out, buy a piece of artwork on Society 6. When you meet the people, you're gonna be meeting them in a few different types of situations. Either on a panel, you're seeing them from afar. At a signing, you're talking one-on-one with them, or a meet and greet, which you might have a lot of time to talk to them, or it might just be like a quick thing. Or you have bought a photo. When you're at a panel and you know you're not gonna be able to go to a signing or get a picture, be brave. Ask a question. You can get up and raise your hand and ask a question and talk one-on-one with that person. Usually at conventions, they had microphones on either side of the panel room and you can go to one side or the other. Have something prepared. You know that they're gonna open the audience to Q&A. That way you will have that moment. The signing is the best way to talk to somebody. They are gonna take 20, 30 seconds to sign a poster, and yes, they're gonna be moved along, but you never know. Usually it's the talent's responsibility to talk to the fan, because usually the fan is like starstruck. So if you talk to that person first, you can get them to look up and look at you. I've asked Sam Heughan what his favorite toothpaste is, and it got a fun response back. But you're gonna make a fool of yourself. You're gonna say some dumb things because your mind is going haywire and you have so much adrenaline because you're finally meeting that person that you admire so much. You're talking to an author. Ask them a question about their book, something that you have been wanting to ask them for a long time, or tell them how much their work has impacted you. Meet and greets and photos are usually big money. You have to spend a lot of money to get into these things. I haven't really done a meet and greet because it's too expensive for me, but with a photo, I've done several photos and they're usually 5 seconds. So do not expect to have a great moment. You're just gonna have an amazing picture. Do a pose. If the talent lets you do a pose, do that pose. It is gonna be fun for them because everyone's just smiling. If you do something like Sasha did, like the kickback where Sam dipped her, do a pose. That is my main advice to people who take photos. Lastly, have so much fun. Conventions are so stressful. They're hot. You could faint. You could become dehydrated, so make sure all that stuff is taken care of, but have so much fun. Don't cry over spilled milk. Yeah, you are spending so much money to be there. If you're not having fun, then what's the point? Try to get into panels. Do everything that you can. Don't let your fun be ruled by somebody else. If an actor doesn't say something that you wanted to say, don't let that hurt you. If you and your friend are having a fight, don't let that fight ruin your day. Like, just don't let someone ruin your day because it's stressful. Ask for forgiveness and just have fun. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget that Ship It is out on stores now. Thank you so much to Disney Book Group for sponsoring this video. If you guys have any other tips, please leave them down below. I feel like I have talked so much, I have like cotton mouth right now. I hope to see you at conventions coming up this summer. I'm gonna be at BookCon, VidCon, Y'all West this weekend, Comic-Con hopefully. Thank you so much. I'm Natasha. I hope you all have a great day. Keep calm and fangirl on. Bye!